What are some girl secrets guys don't know about? Drunk girls in the bathroom are the nicest girls in the world. Single dad with a daughter. This thread feels so important and also mind-numbingly terrifying. Expected girl secrets. Got mostly girl secrets posts instead. For peep's sake. If I say I'm about to come, that does not mean change one single thing about what you're doing. Don't go faster. Or slower, or God forbid change the position. Just stay exactly as you are. Please. I don't care how terrible it looks. If you make me a card or gift instead of buying one, I will adore it forever. I'm super late to this party, but I lift my boobs up so I feel like I can breathe without the weight of them. Have no idea if anyone else does this, tbh. It's a great feeling. Once in a while I put mine on a table and I imagine this is what it feels to be free. Guy here. I do this with my belly. Every so often. Something itches. Is it a yeast infection? Is it a bacterial infection? Is your pubic hair growing back in? Is it dryness? Is it irritation? Did something get stuck in your underwear? The answer is that 99% of the time everything is fine, but you're still gonna worry and squirm uncomfortably trying to get it to stop. And also yeast infections in general. Much more common than one would think. And absolutely goddamn ruthless. A yeast infection feels like someone shoved a sea urchin up your snatch. Some of us get extremely horny during the period. Or little before that. Not the best timing. And not so many men dig it. My wife gets horny and irritable at the same time. Definitely not the best combo. She'll complain all day and then wonder why I wasn't enthusiastically initiating anything in bed. It took me a few years to notice the pattern. Same. Few days before. Horny AF but also so irritated. Few days after. Extremely close but not horny at all. No winning at all. Half the time I'm readjusting my bra, I'm actually trying to scratch my nipple. Undefined. Whenever I readjust my pants, chances are I'm trying to scratch my nuts, so I can relate. LOL. So true. Some of us have to shave our toes. And nipples. I pluck those. And little happy trails. Put me down for all of the above. I suppose guys are warned about unexpected boners when they get sex ed. The same how girls are warned that discharge is normal as they're going through puberty. I see a lot of discussion about said boners. I guess the girl secret would be just how frequent it was to go to the bathroom and suddenly your underwear was so soaked it was insane. This is talking high school/middle school age. So careful with the replies, LOL. And it could dry on them and make them crusty. It could get bad enough that the underwear could get holes in them if they go long enough without being washed. Sorry for the grossness. Tween girls can be unsanitary too, LOL. Undefined. That's where the holes came from. I never knew either. Our favorite bra hasn't been washed in 2 weeks. Undefined. I told this to my male coworkers one time and they were horrified to say the least. Some women get blood clots in our periods and it feels like you're giving birth, so a jellyfish. OMG, don't sneeze or the world's largest jellyfish will shoot out. When you stand up after sitting for a long time and it feels like the elevator scene from The Shining but more jelly. Not to mention getting up in the morning. The frantic waddle the bathroom is always fun. Boob acne is a thing that happens and it's perfectly normal. Trust me. Same with stretch marks around the breasts and thighs. Oh yes. The thighs/boobs stretch marks. SMH at some people who say they don't like stretch marks but they fetishize large thighs and dude. Bad news. If you have sex without a condom, we need a good few minutes after to let everything drain out of us. I always tell my boyfriend BRB gotta go ooze. Because I love seeing the cringe. I try to come up with new ways to phrase this. So far my partner's favorite has been exorcising the semens. Gotta spice it up. __/undefined. Edit 2. Found lost limb. Sluicing the juices. Spitting seeds. Unjizz. Dropping the kids off at the pool. Explogermus. Skeetus deletus. And of course, splish splash dropping cum from my ass. We have so many hair related issues. Plucking dark random nipple hairs. Trying to line up when we shave our areas to when we hook up to avoid guys from seeing razor burn or ingrown hairs. Before getting out of the shower we have to pick out hair from our butt crack that fell out from washing our hair. Pubes growing and sticking out of our undies. Pubes getting stuck in pads or liners. Hell hath no fury like a woman who shaved and didn't get laid. I shave a few days before a doctor's appointment. That way it doesn't look like I shaved specifically for them. Even though I did. I know they're not fussed but I get sweaty down there if I don't keep things tidy and I'm sure their day would be improved slightly if they didn't have to deal with that. Sometimes we have to take the extra long stride too. Because period blood and discharge can make things sticky down there. How slowly we have to pull out a dry tampon in order not to rip our vagina tissue out. Birthing the dry tampon baby is the #1 reason I switched to a menstrual cup. Sometimes if you fart, it doesn't escape through the fabric. Instead it rolls all the way from the back to the front with a noticeable little pop. It's never a good feeling. Undefined. I've heard it described by people as exiting through the gift shop. When it happens to a guy, it's called toasting the almonds. We or at least some of us get ridiculously horny on our periods. It's a painful paradox. The aftermath of shaving our lady parts is a 2-week-long nightmare. After 3 days of smoothness we're left with the world's itchiest stubble rubbing up against panties. Ingrown hairs from the constant pressure of yoga pants and skinny jeans. Not to mention the fact that our vajj now feels like the face of a scruffy man. Undefined. 3 days. Bliss. I'm lucky if I get a day and a half. We are almost always at least a little wet. It's not that you're hot. Our bodies just need to be to function. Like a dog's nose. Boop. Boop the cooch. Sometimes a pubic hair gets stuck under a panty liner. Ouch. Pads that don't have wings. Oh God. It's like they make a conscious decision after they've been applied that the real way to stop the blood is to seal it shut. What about the pads and panty liners that decide they don't like blood so they unstick themselves from your panties and roll up so your panties get the bulk of the blood anyway? We love it when you moan and make noises during sex. Don't be the silent type. Let me know I'm pleasing you, god damn it. This is one of the #1 things that get me off. Silent partners make for sad sex. We get so turned on that our clit actually hurts sometimes. I don't get the clit ache. I get full-blown really painful pressure in my labia minora and vagina. Like a really awful heavy pressure that needs to be filled to stop the pressure. Periods suck overall, but they are very different depending on the girl. Some women get emotional. Some are completely normal. Some periods last for 8 days. Some last for 3 days. Some girls are in extreme pain. Some just have mild discomfort. Some flows are very heavy. Some are very light. AKA, I'm on my period can mean anything from sorry, I'm completely incapacitated, or I'm just feeling a little worse than usual. Once I was in so much pain I couldn't walk. So I decided to lie down on the couch in fetal position. A few minutes later I got the biggest urge to pee. I resigned myself to try to get up again and go when I felt a flash of pain down my entire back. I tried once more and again. A flash of pain that prevented me from uncurling myself. I stayed like that, unable to move, for 20 minutes with a very full bladder. When I did manage to get up I struggled with walking upright, so I just hobbled to the bathroom. Meanwhile, a colleague from college was perplexed hearing us girls trade horror period stories because she never felt any pain. No bloating. No migraines. Nothing. It really is completely different experience for every woman. I collapsed in pain from mine years ago. Very unpredictable. Heavy and came at random times. Either a week apart or months, and could last 3 days to 2 weeks. I begged my DR for years to have tests for PCOS, and when I finally got my diagnosis 4 years after starting my period I was put on the pill with few to no periods, and it was life-changing. That was 15 years ago, and I'm looking at alternatives to pills, probably implant, but worried about those bad periods coming back. Might not be a girl exclusive thing, but I personally need a lot more foreplay to actually enjoy sex. Most of the time I can't get off from strictly penetration no matter how badly we both want it. Can we bring back dry humping? It never left. The dry humping is coming from inside the house. This thread makes me feel so normal. Phew. Thank you. Ladies. Underboob sweat is a thing. Screw just underboob. Cleavage condensation is a bitch. Some women have larger labias and sometimes they get stuck in our underwear. It's very painful and extremely uncomfortable. And then we have to either walk funny to try to get them unstuck, or walk very, very carefully to somewhere where we can just stick a hand down our pants to get things sorted. And don't get me started about getting stuck in lace underwear. I've got long labia minora and they're a pain. Like, I've considered surgery pain in the ass. I have to squish them around just to be comfortable on a daily basis after every trip to the bathroom, and the amount of times they've gotten in the way mid-sex and almost ripped off because there was a sudden dry patch. Ugh. I have the same problem. It also makes riding a bike super uncomfortable for me, it just squashes them. I've thought about surgery as well. But it's so expensive. And done under local anesthetic, which I don't like the idea of. I'm really self-conscious about it around my partner as well. But I'm too shy to bring it up with him. I don't think it likely bothers him at all, but I've heard so many guys say such speepty things about girls with long labia. I can't help feel bad about it. My ex-husband described my vagina as interesting without me even asking him about it. Apparently mine were longer than what he was used to, and although I don't think he wanted to hurt my feelings, it really did. It's been years now and that still sneaks up in my mean bedtime brains. My first boyfriend described mine as looking like a ham sandwich. At least UX had some subtly. When girls are particular about their hair products, it's not us being overly superficial or picky. When your hair is long, the right shampoo/conditioner/drying routine can be the difference between soft waves and a dry, ratty mess. My boyfriend doesn't understand why I can't just use his shampoo/conditioner 2-in-1. His hair is soft using it. So mine would be 2 in his eyes. What he doesn't realize is all of his hair is 1 inch or 2 away from his scalp. And mine isn't. The ends would be so dry. At least in my experience. Not a single girl I've ever interacted with has been turned on by an unsolicited dick pic. And trust me, he has tried. When you hold your breasts when you walk up the stairs so they don't jiggle because that's uncomfortable. When you walk down the stairs. Painful. Up is fine. Down is. Dear God. Sometimes when we pee a stray drop or two starts to roll across our butt cheek. Or maybe that's just me. Oh, thank goodness. I've always wondered if I'm the only woman dealing with that speep. I just want a nice straight stream into the toilet. Thank you. The true reason we go to the toilet together is the waiting queue would usually so long that alone we will A. Get really bored and B. Feel a little excluded from the conversation for some minutes when we come back to the group. So we go together and chat the whole time we are waiting. Honestly, it's a little like the yawn response, where if someone else needs to pee it feels like maybe I do too. Sometimes a hug will do a million times more good than trying to get me to explain why I'm upset. Largely because I'm probably overwhelmed with my feelings and need to process them before I can explain them. The fastest way to process and get them out? A hug to feel loved. When I ask my girlfriend what's wrong and she doesn't respond, I always hug her and ask if she wants to talk to me about it. When she hugs me back, it's the most satisfying feeling because I'm like, I did it, I made her happy, I'm so proud of myself. My nipples can be like two clitorises on my chest. Rubbing them very gently. Licking. Being kind, I get super wet and aroused. Usually when I masturbate I stimulate a nipple at the same time. I don't know why dudes don't try this more when I ask. Most go at my chest like they want to smoosh my boobs like dough or suck a nipple like they're angry and trying to lengthen it. What I think they don't get is there's so much versatility in the body. I like rough play too, but tender play is a whole other lovely world. Aw. Lucky you. I feel nothing. And can't help but feel jealous of those lucky ladies that have this additional pleasure point. I feel like I miss out, lol. Yeah, mine are like just as sensitive as my elbow or something, lol. This is funny because my elbows are probably more sensitive than my nipples. LOL. If there are any men fashion designers on here, women who like dresses want pockets in the dresses, and I don't mean near my boob, I mean on the actual skirt part. I love my one dress with pockets. Yees. And normal sized pockets on out pants so that we can actually fit stuff in them. The feeling of having fart bubble popping forwards and squeezing your thighs to pop it. Wow. Didn't expect this to blow up. Till that guys get this too. Now I have a mental image of dicks flapping up like the lid on a kettle. The fart bubble that sometimes come forwards and goes into your vagina and you're squirming, BCEU, you have butt air your vagina now. I nearly wet myself laughing when my partner sat there, farted, and with a hint of surprise in her voice said, bubbled up me flu. Yeah, my so doesn't understand, and I tried to make him relate. Do you ever fart and instead of going back out past your cheeks, it comes forward and like touches your balls or something? And he looked horrified and said no. But I think the thought of him farting on his own balls haunts him now. Sometimes it comes out the front if I'm sitting pretty leaned back. But there's enough DMZ there that it just feels like it comes out the front. Not that it's affecting the neighbors at all. Some girls like squeezing their boobs. I remember asking my friend if I was weird for doing this, and she was like, we all do it. We just don't talk about it. Be proud of your girls. So yeah, we do this. You can't blame us. They're squishy and fun. An actual conversation I had with my girlfriend. Me. You play with your boobs a lot, eh? Her. What? I don't think I do. Me. You're literally doing it now. Her. Oh. Yeah. I would say this only applies to women who are slightly bigger, but this was an issue for me even when I was very slim. Thigh rubbage is horrible when you wear a dress or skirt, particular in summer. It was also bad for me if I was wearing stockings and they would ride down a bit below my bag, essentially forcing the top of my thighs to rub together in inglorious harmony. It hurts. I need jeans designers to reinforce the goddamn inner thigh bit. It's always the first to give up. And then I'm spending money on new jeans. Again. Ugh. The sole reason any of my pants retire. They are in perfect shape until the thighs split. So annoying.